What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is your review of Reasonable Doubt Season 2, Episode 5. I believe we're on. So listen, Jax is convinced that Chanel is lying. She says Chanel is covering up for somebody. So she goes to talk to Chanel about it, and she's asking Chanel all these questions. She asked Chanel about Adrian, who I believe I called Marcus in the last episode. My bad, y'all. His name is Adrian. Ask him about Evan, who is the white guy that was JT's business partner and Adrian's business manager. Okay. And Chanel says, I met him a few times, but I didn't really get a good vibe off of him. Didn't really, wasn't really around him a whole lot. Why you asking? So Jax is trying to let her know why she's bringing her up. So Chanel tries to deflect and starts talking about why, so you questioning me? Do you question your male, do you question your male clients like you questioning me? Like, is that why, all of a sudden I need you to focus. Like you need to focus on your client instead of always trying to question it. Why you can't support a black woman like you support a black man? Like coming at her with all this stuff. Now to Jax's credit, she did not jump to the bait. Okay, Jax let her get it off, but Jax was like, listen, I hear you. Okay. But understand that right now you are my client, and that is my first priority. And if I thought that my client was lying to me, yes, I absolutely would question them, and I would question them as much as I needed to until I felt like I could give them the best defense. Because the object of the game is for you to come home. Correct? She said, what I think is maybe you did decide that you're covering for somebody, right? She said, but it's cool. You can be mad at me, but just understand that deflection ain't an answer. And I see what you did there. But it's cool. I'm going to roll on out of here and let you feel how you feel. Now, while this is going on, Jax's husband is in his head because he can't let go of what he heard about the woman that he slept with. Maybe, well, we know she's pregnant and it might be his. So he's like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Now, he done ended up calling this woman, telling her, well, he texted her talking about something, we need to talk. She left him on red. So then he called his brother like, oh my goodness, what should I do? Because his brother knew about the whole situation. And his brother was like, well, first of all, when you called her, did she call you back? He was like, no. So his brother was like, listen, first of all, he was like, is her name saved in your phone? Like under her real name? He was like, yeah. He was like, first of all, that's a rookie mistake. Change her name to something crazy like Alex Dunn. Why did he change it absolute to Alex Dunn? He said, and then, if she doesn't call you back, let it go. Like, you have no way. He said, so you wasn't strapped up. Like, you was just out here just running the streets raw. He was like, look, we had a couple of oopsies, okay? And I was thinking, damn, how many times did you sleep with this woman? Because they made it seem like it was like a one and done thing. But damn, I guess you was messing with her for a minute. So I'm going to just go ahead and knock this out because this storyline is stupid. I mean, it's not stupid, but it's not a main storyline. So she did eventually end up calling him back. So they end up meeting up. And she tells him, listen, let's just cut to the end of this conversation. It ain't yours, right? She was like, and even if it is yours, why does it matter? Because at the end of the day, JT ain't here no more, and you went back to your wife. So nobody really wants this baby but me. So I'm not asking nobody to do anything as it relates to this baby except for me. Basically, that's it. That's all. And so he was kind of like, okay, well, thank you, I guess. I appreciate it, But then at the end of the episode, he ends up calling her and was like, I changed my mind. I need to know if that baby's mine. Because, of course, him and Jax are getting along better and better. Things are going really well with him and Jax. And they end up going to a therapy session that's all about trust. And Jax is like, well, I've always trusted him. And he's always been a rock for me. And he's always been the good guy. And he's always yada, yada, yada. So, of course, the more Jax is talking about how great he was and how great of a father and provider and husband and stuff he is, the more she talks about that, of course, the guiltier he feels. And he's like, I really need to know if that baby's mine. Because if the baby's mine, I got to blow up my whole world. But if the baby's not mine, I can kind of play this game a little bit. Now, the other thing that came up, her husband also trying to deal with his own guilt about how he responded to the son when the son said he wanted to do musical, he wanted to do theater and he was into the arts and stuff. So now he's trying to tells him about a musical high school there in LA that they could try to get him into, that they could transfer him to. And of course the son gets all excited about it. And Jax is telling the therapist, listen, I'm not mad, but this is an example of, I wish you would talk to me about stuff like that, because if I don't think it's a good idea, if I say no, then I'm the bad guy. Like, you always want to be the good guy to our kids, and you put me in a position that if I say no, then I become the bad guy. She said, and he was like, so you get mad? You get mad? She was like, whoa, do I sound mad? We're trying to talk it out. We're here with the therapist. I'm just expressing how I feel. But I want you to understand something. I just want to be the good guy sometimes. Like, I think what you did is a great thing. I'm not mad about what you did. I just need you to understand that, future reference, can you run it by me first? So he was like, I get it. You're right. I apologize. The son ends up getting into the school and everybody's happy. Yay for the son. Okay. Now back to the law offices. Jax and her team and Morris Chestnut child. They're trying to work this out. They're coming up with strategy. And Jax is telling them, listen, I don't think she did it. I think she's covering up for somebody. I went to talk to her. This is what it is. This is what it is. Now, the whole team agrees with Jax that Chanel absolutely could be covering somebody up. And Jax's assistant actually brings up a good point and says, yeah, because she probably was thinking, I'll get off on self-defense. It's a no-brainer. But now all of a sudden, she's looking at murder. And Jax actually brought that up to Chanel as well and was like, listen, in the state of, California, like, you get convicted of murder in the first, like, that's mandatory. Like, you gonna be in jail for the rest of your life. But I don't think that's how you thought this was gonna play out. I think you thought this was gonna play out like you were gonna be able to get off because you were a battered wife and it would be, self-defense. But because there, all these other things, there was such a time gap and this, that, and the other, it ain't really playing in your favor. She was like, now I kind of understand why the DA charged you. Like, I thought it was a reach, but now I'm kind of, because clearly they have more evidence than what we have. So they know something we don't know, and we just need you to tell us. Now, Morris Chestnut was like, listen, or she did it, and we just have to provide the best defense. He's not feeling it. He's not going down that road. And he's basically telling Jax, listen, I need you to remember who's in charge. Like, I get it. That's your friend. But I need you to remember who's in charge. And he said, and also understand I'm the point of contact when it comes to media, when it comes to anything like that. People reaching out to you because she said that the media was reaching out to her for comments and interview. He was like, that's me. I'm the head on this. I'm the HNIC. It come through me. And Jax is just kind of like, all right, because, male, like, I think she was just blowing it off like male ego kind of thing. So, Adrian goes to see Evan. And Evan was like, listen, I appreciate that you bought me a large payment on my money. But that was a couple of days ago, and I need the rest of my money. And Adrian is like, listen, you know that I can't really get to Chanel right now. Like, I can't just go visit her in jail because of all the publicity around the case, around us trying to run off together. I can't go up there and just visit her. So I need you to be cool for a little bit. So then Adrian sort of drops his balls a little bit, and he's like, listen, it's in both of our best interests to just chill a little bit. Like, it's in both of our best interests to just kind of, chill out. I'm sorry, to just chill out and not make a big deal out of this. Like, give me wait till the trial is over and then I'll get you your money. And he sort of threatens Evan, and Evan was like, oh, that's what we doing here? Like, okay, all right. Well, because he was like, don't make me let Chanel know what's really going on. So they basically have information on each other. And Evan sort of played his card, which on one hand, okay, you played your card, right? You played your card. But then on the other hand, don't forget at the end of the day, I still really do have the upper hand on you. But okay, I'm gonna let you run for a minute and see how this plays out. But the problem is, Jax actually ended up coming to see him because they really, her investigator couldn't really find any dirt on Evan. So Jax was like, never mind. Like, I'll go down there and I'll just, come at him head on and be like, what's good, what's good. So Jax goes down to his office and says, listen, I need to know what's going on. Like, what's up? You know, like, your name is popping up. We see that you cool with Adrian. What's going on? So, of course, he don't like Jax sniffing around. You know, he blew her off. He kind of gave her standard answers, but he knew she wasn't buying it, and he knew that he kind of had to play it differently. So he actually goes to visit Chanel. He goes to visit Chanel and lets Chanel know, because it's almost like they're alluding to Chanel is covering up for Adrian, and Adrian was the one there. And it almost seems like Evan helped clean up, which is why there was such a large gap between when the incident happened and when the police were called. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. That sort of makes sense and that sort of plays, but I really think that's too easy because we are only episode 4 in, and I just think it's too easy. Even though last season, the obvious answer was the answer that was in our face the whole time, and it took us, we went down 4 or 5 different roads before we ended up at the beginning where we started. However, I don't think they would do that 2 seasons in a row. So I kind of don't think it's Adrian, but I think Adrian and Evan are talking about something else. But I do think they cleaned up something. I do think that Chanel is deep, it knows more than what she's letting on that she knows about Adrian and Evan. But I do not think it's who killed JT. But, child, I could be wrong, child. I could be wrong. So JT gets pissed off. I mean, Adrian gets pissed off when he finds out that Evan went to go visit Chanel, and he sort of confronts Evan, and Evan was like, yo, oh, you thought you had me. You thought you had me over a barrel. You thought you was running something. Like, you don't run nothing around here. Jax came to visit me, and I felt a little threatened, and I felt like I needed to tighten up my insurance policy. So I went and I let Chanel know some things. So now Chanel is mad at Adrian and not speaking to Adrian. And then Evan tells Adrian, and I need you to handle Jax. You need to get rid of her. You get rid of her, then I'll back up off of you for a minute and give you time to get my money. But until you handle her, me and you got a problem. And I said, damn, so Adrian that's what's going on here? The only other thing that really happened in this episode, before I get to what happened at the end. Oh, I'm sorry, not the only other thing. The friends are sort of afraid, like Jax and her girlfriends, because they went out to dinner and they were talking about other possibilities about maybe Chanel didn't do it and she's covering up for somebody. And I told y'all that I thought it's her cousin. I told y'all I thought it might be the cousin, because why would the cousin be so pressed about putting her house up to save Chanel? Like, I get it, that's your family, whatever, but my house against my husband's wishes? I don't know. But she got real defensive and she walked out and got mad and she was in her feelings, which made me feel like, okay, again, I feel like your reaction was a little bit much for what they were saying, because it wasn't even like they were saying something bad about Chanel. They were just saying maybe Chanel didn't, like, maybe she's covering up from somebody. Maybe she didn't act alone. Like, I didn't feel like they were saying anything bad, but she took it as, you know, y'all not supporting her and no wonder she didn't want to tell you and this, that, and the other. And they were all like, girl, what? So the trial starts. Chanel is still sort of mad at Jax, but the trial starts, and you know, of course, we hear the detective testifying, and we hear the doctor that deals with the dead people. Child, I can't get it out. Anyway, they testify, but then here come the mama. Now we know the mama not gonna say nothing nice about her. We know the mama is not gonna say nothing nice. So she gets up there and she denies the whole thing. She's like, my son never put his hands on her. He was never abusive. She's lying. And of course, Chanel is like, are you serious? Like, you're a liar. Like, you know he beat me. Like, you know, you saw the bruises. And the judge was like, get control of your client. So they have to take Chanel in the back, and she's talking to them and she's upset. And she says, she beat her own kids. That's probably the reason why he grew up the way he grew up, because she beat her kids. And they were like, wait, what? Because she said, yeah, she gave me the Gucci sunglasses to cover up my black eyes. Like, she knew exactly what he was doing to me. So they were able to get her to admit on the stand that she beat her son, that she, you know, was an abusive mother. Like, they sort of tricked her into it, but she did admit it. And Chanel was like, thank you. You know, she thanked both of them. Thank you, Jax. Thank you, you know, thank you, Mr. Morris Chestnut. So then, after the day in court, the media is talking to Jax. Well, he feels some kind of way about it, right? He comes out of the bathroom and he sees them talking to Jackson. He sort of feels some kind of way about it. He's like, um, why are you talking to them? I thought I told you that I'm the point of contact. She said, well, you weren't here. And they wanted a quote, so I gave him one. So later on that night, he's in the office, and the two partners, the two white boys, they come by and invite him out for drinks. And at first he says, nah, I'm kind of busy. Then he says, you know what? Y'all like cigars? So he takes him to a cigar bar, a friend of his frat brother cigar bar. And they get to talking, they back and forth, how. And he lets them know that basically he's been having a hard time with Jackson. She's a little difficult, black women, trigger word, difficult. And they're like, yeah, Jackson's a little, high strung, but if there's anything we can do to help, let us know. Well, basically he basically convinced the partners to talk to Jax about backing up and letting him do his job and not being overbearing because, it's his case, basically. And she confronts him. I like the way she handled it because she went straight to him and was like, bruh, like, come on now. You gonna go to the white boys about me? And he admitted it. I'm gonna give him credit. He admitted it. He said, listen, I didn't tell him exactly that, but I did tell him I needed you to back up a little bit because he said, listen, you asked me on this case for a reason because I'm good at what I do. And she said, yes, but I'm good at what I do too. And I feel like you're very dismissive of me when I bring you alternative points of view or alternative opinions. He said, I need you to accept the fact that I am a good attorney, even if I don't agree with your point of view, even if I don't agree with your theory. Yes, you are a good attorney, but you're not the head. You're not the lead. And I need you to let me do my job. I get it. We don't agree on some things, but I need you to respect how I'm running the case, even if it's different than how you would run the case. So she accepts that. She admits it. And she sort of apologizes for kind of, being a little overbearing. But then they get to talking and they cool. And let me tell you what I love. Because because she meets him at the cigar bar. She rolls up on him at the cigar bar. I too am a woman that enjoys a cigar. And I love when I see a woman that knows how to pick a cigar and how to light a cigar and all of that. I said, yes, Jax, you better do that. So, the last thing we see is Adrian asking Jax to meet him at Chanel's house. And when she gets there, now at first, her investigator's the only one that knows she's there. And at first, the investigator's like, are you sure? She was like, yeah, I'm good. I know him. He's pretty cool. Like, we ain't friends, but I know him. Like, I'm not worried. But then, remember, he was told to get rid of her. So the last thing we see is him standing up and he got a gun behind his back. So, anyway, we'll see what it is. Let me know what y'all think. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.